What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 75 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creators Series. Today I welcomed an Orlando, Florida native. His name is Rey Sparta. I discovered Rey's music on Instagram a few months back, and we were able to get him on the podcast this week to share a little bit of his story. Rey is kind of an alternative artist. He does a little bit of hip-hop, rock, even a little bit of electronic, I'd say, in his music. We talked about his influences, which include Linkin Park, Kid Cudi, and Kanye, which is kind of cool because those are some artists that I grew up on as well. There were huge influences on me, so I thought that was cool that we had that in common. He talks about the singles that he has coming up. He's got a new single dropping the week that this was recorded. It will have been in September, but by the time this episode is out, he'll be dropping his first full-length album. It's going to have a lot of the singles that he's already dropped, as well as a couple new songs, so I'm looking forward to that. And he talked about the live shows that he's putting together with his team that should be starting probably around the top of next year, that are going to bring fans more of an immersive experience into the different tracks that he's putting out. I really appreciate Rey for taking time out of his day. I mean, he joined me during his job, on his lunch break, so it just goes to show that he really cares about what he's doing and really wants to do this for the long term. And I'm really just a big fan of him and his brand and what he's doing. And I wish him all the best of luck moving forward. I'm looking forward to reconnecting with him very soon. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 75 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. This is the Creators Series. Today we have a really awesome artist, unique artist. I love this guy's brand, love this guy's sound. Rey Sparta is here. How are you, man?
Yo, what's up, man? Thanks for having me, Anthony. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. And like I said, thanks for giving the time to be on the show today. So basically to start every episode, we have the guest kind of give a little bit of background, how you got into music, how long have you been doing it? Basically the real simple information for those that might not be familiar with you and what you do.
Okay, yeah. Well, like Anthony said, I go by Rey Sparta. And I've been doing music for, seriously, professionally for a few years now. I started as behind-the-scenes work, like song writer, publishing, and stuff like that. I worked at a studio as a writer. And basically, during those times, I was, dibbling and dabbling in my own artistry and trying to build confidence within myself to actually propel into my own artistry and brand. Starting from nothing. Like, I don't have anybody that a family member or a cousin or a roommate or a brother or anyone involved in music industry. So everything I've ever tried is just completely, from ground zero. And just building relationships. I've been doing shows out here for the past couple years, as far as performing and on stage and all that. So, and basically the brand idea, like the Rey Sparta, the whole thing, like since I've been a kid, I was always drew my own stuff. I even cut my own hair. That's where I get the craziness from and stuff. So the whole Sparta warrior type stuff I've been into since a kid. So that's kind of where that name kind of developed itself, like the whole Spartacus brand and Kratos from God of War video game. That was like my favorite video game. And yeah, man, I just love that type of story of the warrior coming from nothing and just building his own dynasty from within, and then you see it come from without. So that was kind of the whole concept developed between the artistry and the music and all that. So, and lately now, man, yeah, I've just been promoting the brand and really trying to get that brand niche of people understanding it and stuff like that. That's really what I've been on lately.
Yeah. It's funny because that's kind of what caught my eye. I think when I discovered your page was the whole theme, the Spartacus theme and everything, and I was like, that's really cool. The way that you wear the helmet and everything, I'm like, that's freaking cool. And then I heard the music and I was like, it's very edgy, it's very raw and hard hitting, and I was like, it fits kind of that. I see exactly what you're going for. It fits the whole theme perfectly. So
yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah.
That means a lot, man. It means the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the helmet thing, it was funny because it was Halloween one year. couple years back, and I was just like messing around. I was like, man, it'd be tight if I could just have like a Spartan helmet. And this was a Halloween idea. And I was like, but they don't really make that these days, you know what I'm saying? Where can I get a metal freaking real helmet? So then I saw, and there's actually people who make that, like the cosplays, or people are really into that. Like, that's huge. And I was like, oh man, this could be real. So it was an idea for Halloween, and then it became like, you know what? I want to do shows with that on. Like, I want to do shows. I want to, like, so I really went out and bought a helmet. And then people, when they see that, they're like, what in the world? Like, this dude's about to rap and sing and all that stuff with a freaking, like, it's like 20-pound helmet, man. Like, it's pretty insane. But, but yeah, that's where the whole concept came with that helmet and stuff, man.
Yeah. Are you a big, like, 300 guy, too? Like, a big 300 fan of that movie, too?
Man, you already know, man. That's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
I figured.
Leonidas, man.
I heard the second one wasn't good. I never saw the second one. I heard that wasn't
good.
It
was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I watched it one time. I said, dang. They done disrespected the whole, theme of this. Yeah. It was weak. It was very terrible.
Yeah, that's funny. Because I figured, like, the whole thing, that's, like, the first thing I thought of was 300. I was like, he's probably a 300 fan, too. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm curious though for you, because I know that your music has a lot of different like styles and things too, and you like to try new things. Like, who for you, maybe growing up or even now, are like some big influences for you? Like, could be producers, could be artists. Like, who do you draw inspiration from a lot, you think?
Yeah, I think like you said, it's just a mix of like genres and really focused on like the emotive side of music. So like what was huge for me is like the experimental Kanye West type stuff. Growing up, Linkin Park to me was like huge. Like, I love Linkin Park, and Kid Cudi, like even from younger and now, Kid Cudi, Bon Iver, which is a band. They do like folk and they do electronic-y stuff. Even Eminem too. Like, growing up, that was huge. Like, just that raw, when he was in that, out of that cage type Eminem flow. And a lot of rap and a lot of alternative type music, like, I just listen to. So I try to just not even, like, nowadays, I don't even listen to, like, a lot of what goes on now. Mm-hmm. So, like, as far as new artists and things like that, like, I don't really know. But those are who really inspired me, like the Kid Cudis and stuff like that. The kind of out of bounds people that try stuff with their sound, like that kind of inspires me.
Yeah, sounds like my childhood, honestly. Like, my first iPod, I had so much Linkin Park on there, Kanye. Like, me and my brother shared a playlist. Did you have the
spiky hair too? The little spiky hair? I know I tried it.
Yeah, me and my brother shared a playlist in like 2008, 2009. So we all had the same music. So he loves Linkin Park. That's how I got put on to Linkin Park and everything. And I became a Kanye fan and a Cudi fan at like the same time. It's like, I don't know, man.
It's like a rite of passage, man. You got to follow it.
Yeah. Linkin Park, I feel, was always just slept on. Like, a lot of people didn't like them, but it's like, I don't know. They just tried new things and they were different. Like you said, it's like they combined like that alternative sound with rock and everything. And like, I guess if you got it, you kind of understood it. But then if you were more traditional, a lot of people didn't like it. I don't know. It was weird. But.
Yeah, because they were like new metal / screamo, but like you said, people couldn't put a traditional, like, okay, because each album would sound different.
Yeah,
they'll try something new. Now it's techno-y and rocky, and the old school rock artists, they want that rock. Mm-hmm. We want that metal. We want that. So I just, like you said, you either get it or you get it. A lot of that type of music is like you either love it or you just don't want to hear it at all. Like,
and I remember, like, even all the way up until Chester passed away, it was like they were still trying different things. Like, all the different albums they put out like the years before, they were all three like different albums. Like, none of them really sounded the same. So they just kept trying to innovate and do new things. So it's really awesome.
Yeah, and I really respect like artists who really try to go outside. Because there's always a certain box when you're creating music. Mm. If you're a rapper, they automatically think X, Y, Z. If you're a singer, they think that. If you're a rock artist, they're going to think that. Mm. So I really respect the people who maybe started like that or identify with that genre, but they really go outside the bounds because you're an artist. You know, you can't just paint inside the box all the time. You got to go outside the canvas sometimes.
I think the more, like, the longer someone has a career too, I feel like they get to a point where they're like, I gotta continue to do new things or else it's gonna get boring. Like, you don't want to, if you're in a career for like 20 years and you're doing the same thing, then why are you still doing it? You need to be advancing and trying different things and taking influence from other people and just, continuing to push the boundaries. So that's super important, I think. So out of all those people, maybe, anyone else as well, is there anyone that's like a dream collaboration for you? Maybe someone you'd want to do a song with or an album with or something?
Oh, man. Dream collab would be, man, Kanye or Kid Cudi, man. Like, that would be like, man, like, you done made it. You made it to a point of validation where the greats want to work with you. Or even if it's writing and I'm in the background humming something, like, whatever you want to do, But definitely those two would be like, man, that's like a dream.
Yeah. And they both collab with a lot of people too, like especially Kanye. It's like I feel like he always is trying to look for new people to work with, producers, artists. Doesn't really, like you look at the last album he just put out, there was like 50 different people involved.
Oh,
so
it's like, yeah, and like 50 something producers, 50 something artists, like it's crazy.
Yeah. So you never know. It could definitely happen one day. If you're right time, right place. Who's to say it won't happen? So out of, the people that you have worked with up to this point, I don't know how many collaborations that you've done, but who are some of your favorite people to do music with?
Oh, man, like, lately I've been doing collabs. Like, I've been releasing some collab work, which I never did before. I would do collabs, but, like, a lot of those songs wouldn't even get released and stuff. But, lately, like, with the release schedules and, like, I was really networking outside and I was like, I'm going to collab with people who I gravitate towards, not just like, okay, this guy's popping. If I just pay this feature, I can kind of get this kind of, that never enticed me. It was really like a personal thing and stuff. So, as far as my favorite, it would be my producer and engineer right now. Like, I've been working with him for years. His name is Bad One. He's a producer / engineer for a band named See You Soon. So, like, we were always doing engineering work, and I would record and engineer, but I didn't know he was a producer as well. So one day he kicked it. I was just talking, and I was just like, man, it'd be tight to, do like a Yeezus, which is like a crazy album to me that I was like inspired by. Like these sounds that I got in my mind, but I just don't know who could like make it happen. He's like, well, dude, I produce. Like, I was like, you produce too? He's like, yeah, that's. I definitely want to try something new like that. And I was like, perfect. So we just started doing that like around 2 years ago. That's like the sounds that have been coming out now. Have already been like that. So working with him, it was already like a friendship through music. That you don't have to explain too much. Like it was just like free flowing. So that's been my favorite type of collab, that I don't have to worry about professionalism, timing, all that stuff. He just got it.
Yeah. Keeps it super organic too. You know what I mean? Because it's already something you've established and you already know what you're doing. So you kind of just read each other's minds a little bit of the time, I think.
Yeah. You could be in the room and not even say nothing for like 2 hours, but a whole bunch of work is getting done. It's like when you get somebody, you just feel the flow. It's just easier.
I was gonna ask you, who does your like album art too? Is that all you, or is that someone else? Because I know like the recent album art, it reflects more of the Spartacus like theme too. So yeah, man, that's crazy you ask, because I drew a lot of stuff on my phone, and I was like, but how do I get this digitally? Like digitally artwork, high resolution, and all that. That I don't do graphic design. I just draw and paint and stuff. So I actually looked on it was Fiverr. Yeah, Fiverr.
App.
Yeah. Yep.
And I found an artist who specializes in like that Renaissance artwork / tarot card stuff. That's kind of where the inspiration got. But so I just sent like my designs with the cover art, and then they like made it come to life and edited it some more. So it was like a combination
Yeah.
of an artist.
Yeah, I love that because that fit like the brand and everything so well. I thought that was really cool.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So you mentioned you're from Orlando, Florida, obviously, and I'm curious to know, like, as someone who's trying to, establish themselves as an artist in that area, what does that scene kind of look like? Like, what is the music scene in Orlando really looking like for independent, upcoming artists right now?
In Orlando, the mainstream stuff that has blown up as of late is like it's like trap music type of gangster rap type stuff. But as far as like what's not mainstream yet, but is getting there, is it's a lot of different type of creatives. So it's really mixed with those type of people who do rock but sing, or do rap but sing, and like it's really mixed with a eclectic type of genreless. Like, there's a lot of that going on now with what's becoming popular. Even like a artist, not sure if you're familiar, like Tyler Yawal, he's huge now with Post Malone. He's from here in Orlando, and so a lot of that, like a lot of the misfitting, edgy kids and all that type of music, has really been catching its own scene in here in Orlando.
Yeah, that's cool. I think from what you like tell me just from that, I think it's almost being overlooked. So it might end up eventually being kind of like what Atlanta was for a bit, where it was like all these new artists coming out. It's just, will people, pay attention? It's not really like a place you would think of, but there might be a lot of hidden talents there for sure. That's pretty cool. So
Yeah, man.
in the last like year or so, obviously there's been a lot that's happened in the world and everything. So I'm curious for you, was there anything that was kind of like a hurdle that you had to overcome, or maybe something that you're still kind of trying to get through to kind of keep things moving? Like anything you'd want to share at least?
Oh, absolutely. All type of hurdles. I think we're all facing them in our own way. But for sure was like just the plan. The plan kind of changed. The plan of adapting. I think we had to all create our own adaptation to what was happening in the world. Because my plan before the COVID and all that was like, oh, I'm gonna just keep doing shows, and go over here and go to Atlanta and go to LA. And I'm gonna do this. That got just scrapped completely, and it became a hurdle of like, okay, I have to literally, because me prior to, like, if I wasn't a music artist, I wouldn't mess with social media at all, man. Like, at all. Like, you have to find me, So it was really tough for me to be like, I have to grit down with this social media stuff, because this is really, like the whole COVID, everyone on the phone now. Like, everyone's setting up cameras in their home now. Everyone's building studios in their home now. Everyone is no longer outsourcing. Like, everyone was becoming their own creator in their own way. So it was really tough for me to be like, man, I got to plan out my digital content. Man, I got to build this stuff from looking at it from somebody outside coming in. Like, they click my page, what they're going to see, I got nothing. I really didn't at the time. Just was sporadically posting and stuff like that. So for me, it was tough because I don't really care for social media, like, but as an artist, it is a part of you. It's a part of your business, part of your brand, part of your story. It's how people see if you're, I guess, authentic with what you're producing out there. So that was, for me, it's tough. For a lot of people, it's real easy. And man, I wish I was like that. I'm like, man, you just post every day and it's always something cool, it's unique. I'm like, damn, I got to plan it. I don't like this one, But that was tough for me, man. I really had to grit down and figure out what I wanted to be and where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I definitely share that sentiment with, like, if I wasn't doing music, I wish I probably would never be on social media. Like, I can envision myself just not having it at all, because it's like, why would I need it? You know what I mean? The only thing I do on there is music-related stuff and business-related stuff, so it's like, I wouldn't need it, because I'm just not that type of person. But I definitely feel what you're saying. It's like, just kind of figuring out what your plan is and how you're going to present your brand to people. And I like what you said about you have to view it from their standpoint and not just yours, because how you view yourself, that's not always how people view you. So you got to like reverse engineer the whole thing and be like, okay, if I was this stranger, if I came across this person, am I going to take this person even seriously? Because I see a lot of artists, it's like they say that they're an artist and all this stuff, but then you get on their page, there's nothing there to even prove that they're an artist. So I'm like, what can I do with that? You know what I mean? So
exactly, and it's just crazy you said reverse engineering, because that's a lot of the stuff that, like, now that I have like a little team now, and people actually help me, like my manager and stuff like that. That's what I would say. Like, we have to look at it from the backwards side. Like, someone coming to see you, what makes you want to see somebody? What makes you like stop scrolling? What makes you actually like somebody's post? What makes you comment? What strikes you to do these actions that you're already in your mind thinking of within 15 seconds? So everyone's on a 15-second grid. Like, what makes you last a little longer with somebody else? And it's like you said, it's that validation of, wow, this is an artist. Wow, this is what they say they're doing. And, I think the famous people can get away with that, not posting and all. They already cultivated what they needed to for years, And us, because like you said, I'm the type like you. I could care less. Like, I could care less. I go off the grid, it wouldn't matter to me. But what matters to them, the people you're trying to reach and actually build a connection, they're going to see, man, this guy hasn't posted in 372 days. Oh, my God. That's like 10 years of social media time, so I definitely agree, man. That's a journey for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So for you, this could be, your brand, your music, everything all in one. What do you think is going to be something that you want to be your lasting impact when it's all said and done, as far as, your art goes? Like, what do you want people to kind of take away from what you're putting out there?
I want them to fully see that it's okay to be like confident in your own skin with being different. Whatever that different is to you, your story, be that to the 10th degree of that. Like, be that all the way. Feel like that's what I've been battling with, and that's what I want to project as well, is that, it's a daily thing, because it's scary to really be authentic. It's scary to really, step on stage and say things or do songs that people don't agree with or people may not like. But we also got to remember, everyone's not going to like you, and everyone's not going to hate you either. So that's mainly it. Like, be okay with being completely different. Try those little wild ideas you have when, you're alone and you're like, man, what if I did this? We'll be the first ones to tell ourselves no before someone else does.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be the first one.
Yeah.
We're in our head so much that we'll already scrap the idea before we even get to try to do the idea. So definitely, I want to be one of those that just can connect with those type of like-minded people that, are every day got something going on, but we're going to be confident in our skin of being different.
Yeah, I love that. And it's always important. I think where I get, caught up a lot, it's like you said, it's in your own head. You're kind of just questioning yourself here and there, but it's like, I think what helps me get through it is like, do I want to look back and say I regretted not doing that thing? You know what I mean? It's like, no, I don't want to regret that, so I should do that thing. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. So I think you just got to, like you said, not be afraid to take the risks, and you're going to see the rewards. The only way you're not going to see the rewards is if you never do anything, and you just let the idea die.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely agree, man.
Yeah, love that. So you mentioned you got some more singles coming up. You got some more songs coming up. Can you reveal anything, like what we can expect maybe in the next few weeks, next few months before the end of the year? Like, what do you got planned, do you think?
Yeah, man. I actually have a new song coming out this Friday. I kind of been like not saying release dates, and I just like promote after, because I feel like as an artist, people don't really care what you got coming up. I'm just going to be 100% for me. Like, unless you're famous, unless you already cultivated that. You know, yeah, Drake's coming out or this guy's coming out. Yeah, we're like, oh, sure, I'm going to mark my calendar. But, you know, Gerard from the basement is coming out, you know, on the 3rd. Y'all remember me? Not like, no, we're not, bro. Come out on the 3rd and then talk to me. That's how I feel. And so I've just been doing that. I got a single coming out this Friday. It's crazy, man. It's definitely crazy. Like, it's one of those that I was like, should I release that one? Because that's kind of crazy. But I feel like what scares me is what I got to do. If it scares me a little bit and I'm like, then I got to do it. I got to stick to it. So that's coming out. Then 2 weeks after that, I got another one coming out. And then I'm actually putting the whole collection of sounds on an album coming out on my dad's birthday, which is Halloween. His birthday's on Halloween. And that's coming out. There'll be a couple new tracks on there. So it's going to be my first album, my first collection of music, just all in one spot. And then we're working with, like I said, I got a team now, and we got like light guys, sound guys. Like, we really want to cultivate not just shows. I feel like you hear show, you're just like, oh, there's a guy on a microphone spitting. You know, I want to create experience so that when you see the show, it's like a play. It's like, you know, I was inspired as a kid by Phantom of the Opera. Like, I saw it live, and it changed my whole perception of like live art and stuff. And that always inspired me to do musically. Like, if I can create that vibe of an experience, a whole play, the lights, the this, the sound, instead of just, okay, track 1, here I go, y'all, I'm gonna spit. Track 2, here I go, y'all, I'm gonna spit again. Track 3, that's great. You do that, that's great. Nail that 100%. But like, for me, it's just creating that experience for people, and that level of entertainment is what we've been planning for a little bit now. So we're definitely going into that. So hopefully by the top of the next year, January, February-ish, start doing those type of shows, like our own venues, things like that. So that's we got a lot of that planned. So that's what I'm hoping to
super
push
awesome.
out.
I feel like that whole like live experience thing, I think that makes the song stand out more to the people too. Like, when they see it in person, like, say they already like the song, if they get to see it with those visuals and everything, it's gonna mean even more to them. You know what I mean? Because they'll actually get it more than just listening to it through headphones, you know, on Spotify. So I totally see what you're going for. So that's awesome. I wish you the best of luck on that, because I think that's going to be crazy if you guys can pull it off. So if you could go back 10 years ago, maybe give yourself a piece of advice, or maybe not change anything at all, what do you think you would do?
10 years ago, for sure, don't try to please everybody. You're not going to. You're going to fail. You're going to fail, number one. Follow your gut, man. Follow your gut, because your gut usually going to tell you the truth before you even know it. So I definitely would say, don't try to be a people pleaser. Right? Don't worry about that. The ones that love you will stay connected. The ones that embrace you, they'll stay around. Then the ones who you think maybe they're not going to be. You know? Just don't try to people please. You know, of course, don't be just 100, but don't be just some selfish, you know, prude. But just be connected, man. Just don't try to people please. I think you'll fail.
Yeah. So 10 years from now, then, if we flip it, where do you think you want to be in your life and your career?
In my life and career, I'd want to be traveling all around the world, meeting new people, doing shows, other parts of the world, country. I don't want to be working 9 to 5. I can promise you that. Like, you know, I'm sitting here right now in my car on lunch break, because like, that's how devoted I am to this, because it's a love. It's a love. This whole journey, it's a love. Falling in love with the journey. And 10 years, man, I would love to obviously still have my business, actually be making good money in that sense, and artistry, and connect with a lot more people, and just keep building that resource. But definitely no more 9 to 5, all contract deals, man. For real.
Yeah. So do you have any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
Final words of wisdom for the listeners, man. Be you, be true. As simple as that sounds, man, be you, be true. It's okay to be unique. It's okay to be shy. It's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to be the quiet one in the back of the room. It's okay to study people. It's okay. Like, it's okay. And being yourself, you'll find your way. You'll find your way quicker than trying to do what somebody else did with a story that doesn't even compare to yours. So stick to being you, man. That's the best thing I could advise. I feel like being you and putting in that work with yourself, it can't lie. It's gonna see. People are gonna see that. So be you and don't people please.
You got to create your own roadmap. You know what I mean? Don't just try and copy everyone's moves word for word, because it's not your life. You know what I mean? You just got to do.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
We don't know what the other person did to get to the point you think they took.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? You don't know. We're just looking from the outside in.
Exactly.
Like, hey, he got it easy. We don't know. I don't know. So, for sure, man.
Yeah, love it, man. Well, Ray, man, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate you taking time out to be here to share some of your story. I'm looking forward to all the music you got coming up. Like I said, those shows, that's going to be crazy. I hope you are able to do that. And I think, just keep putting in the work, man, because you're doing great things. I'm a fan, and just keep it up, for real.
Thank you, man. It means the world to me, man. I appreciate you taking the time and actually hitting me up to do this, man. It was a great, great experience, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man, because that keeps inspiring people like me who are just artists going down there like, man, nobody hears me. Next thing you know, you hit me up for, an interview, a podcast. This is great, bro. What you're doing is great, bro. It means a lot to people.
No, thank you, man. And we'll have to do a part 2 very soon. Hopefully, I'll come down to Orlando. We'll see what can happen. But
that'd be awesome, man, for sure. Hit me up anytime, man.
Thanks, everyone, for listening today. That was episode 75. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit the support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send any funds. And feel free to leave us the 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. So we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.